The New Orleans Saints need to get back on track, Who Dat Nation, and so I need your help. Let's get a bunch of W's in the chat so we can eat, we can eat some of those against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brand new quarterback this week. We're going to be talking about it. Keys to victory, all the information you need to know, the injury report. We filmed this as a part of our weekly live show on Wednesday, so shout out to Donovan, Jaden, Josh, Carolyn, and all the rest of the real ones in the live chat right now. But coming up, how the Saints can get back on track. Started off red hot those first 2 weeks, and then it wildly stalled out. So how can we get back to that first 2 weeks? I'm going to tell you, and we're going to get you ready for week 6. But here is the matchup. The Buccaneers are the 2.5-point favorites. The over-under set at 42.0. But let's go through week 5. Let's rehash it. And then we'll do it for the Buccaneers as well because both teams coming off of losses. Both teams also played in primetime. The Saints are going to be on a very, very, very short week. The Buccaneers are going to be on a very, very long week. So, awesome. The New Orleans Saints, they did go down to Kansas City on Monday Night Football. We had an absolutely electric watch party. Over 280,000 people tuned in. It was unbelievable. So if you want to be part of the fun, we're going to be going live for this game. Encourage you to subscribe. The offense for the New Orleans Saints just literally could not get the ball going. One of my keys to victory for the Saints was you got to get your offense moving and on the ground with the run game, but you also have to stop Tampa Bay's offense with Bucky Irving and Rachaad White. That's Tampa Bay. I'm thinking of Kansas City. Kansas City's offense. I'm getting ahead of myself. Point being, they didn't do it. They did not listen to me. The defense was not good against the run. They let Juju Smith-Schuster look absolutely great. It was really frustrating. And Derek Carr, he has an oblique injury, so Spencer Rattler will be your starting quarterback. Dennis Allen confirming that as a part of his press conference today after practice on Wednesday, October 9th. So that is the update. Spencer Rattler will be the QB. It's not Jake Haener. It's not anybody else. It is Spencer Rattler, your rookie quarterback, the 5th-round selection. If you love it, awesome. If you hate it, I'm sorry. He's your QB this week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, last week, they did fall to the Falcons on an absolute shootout. We were also Fun Fact Live for this game. Thursday Night Football, I hate to give them credit. It was a great game. It was a lot of fun to watch. Very high scoring. The Bucs defense, I will say this, not great. So in terms of the Saints offense getting back on track, this is a good week to do it. Kirk Cousins last week threw for over 500 yards. So maybe Spencer Rattler, could get things moving through the air. I think it's a good week or a good matchup for his first game and his first start in the league. Baker Mayfield, I'm the first one to sit here and say this. He plays for a team I don't really like all that much, but he's a player I really admire. And he's a good quarterback no matter what way you want to draw it up, and no matter what explanation you want to give. He's a good quarterback. He's a football guy through and through, and the Buccaneers offense has been pretty solid. And you can take a look at that with how the Buccaneers stack up. They have a top 10 scoring offense. And number 19 overall, yards per game, that's not all that great. They're average in yards per play. The red zone percentage is average, but they're good on third down. However, their defense, they struggle on third down. They are average, a little bit above in the red zone. And then on top of that, they give up a lot of points. They give up a lot of yards. So this is a good opportunity for Spencer Rattler to build some confidence. Now, the New Orleans Saints, in terms of lining up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were a top-performing offense going into Week 5, and now it's not as good. They were the number 1 in points per game. Now they're number 4. They're now number 17 in yards per game. They're 16th ranked in yards per play. They're still really, really good on third down. That is a fact. It feels like every single time the Saints make a play, it is on third down. In their red zone percentage, both sides of the ball, they're really, really good. They force a lot of turnovers. The Saints defense, they give up a lot of yards, but they bend, but they do not break. So that's something that is, in my opinion, things that they could work on. But in the red zone, just stay hot, stay strong, and do not give up those touchdowns. Let's go into the injury report. This is the Wednesday injury report, so obviously things will change in the coming days leading up to game day. The most notable injuries that I want to go through, Kendre Miller, he's at the bottom of the Saints portion. He was designated to return with that hamstring injury. He was placed on IR earlier during roster cutdowns. He suffered the injury on the first day of training camp, so good to see him back. He can add some pop. add some depth and add some talent to the Saints offense. Taysom Hill did not participate, nor did Cesar Ruiz or Peyton Turner, Alvin Kamara, or Derek Carr. Obviously, with Derek Carr, he is not playing this week. It's going to be Rattler, like we've said. Pete Werner, Will Harris, look for him to be placed on IR pretty soon. And Rashid Shaheed all did not participate. Willie Gay was a limited participant with that hand injury that he suffered against the Falcons. So that's good news to get him back. I think the Saints really could have used him when it came to playing against the Chiefs offense. Now, the Buccaneers side of things, Graham Barton and Christian Eisen are two players who did not participate, nor did Trey Palmer, the wide receiver. But limited participants included Cameron Johnson, Jalen McMillan, Rashad White, Jordan Whitehead, and Antoine Winfield Jr., who's one of the best safeties in the league when he's healthy. Now, I got to ask you this question. We went through the recaps. We went through how they stack up in the injury report. Who you got? Type S, Type B. Share your thoughts in the comments section. I want to hear what you have to say. This will be the pinned comment, so if you get hit with the ad break or if something happens here and you just want to go and scroll down, like this is the pinned comment. I need you to share your thoughts. I need you to weigh in, and I need you to get loud and proud. So coming up in the rest of the video, we're going to be discussing my keys to victory for the New Orleans Saints because, how are they going to win this game? No QB1, a lot of other injuries. Got to find a way. I'm going to tell you how they can do that. Really quick reminder, though. I mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. We are going to be live for our Saints vs. Buccaneers watch party 1 hour before kickoff, 11 a.m. Central Time. So be sure to subscribe and join us for a watch party. It's going to be a lot of fun. Audience interaction, play-by-play. We're going to be giving away some cool stuff, so I encourage you to hang out, come check in, and stop by and join the watch party. It's going to be a good time. I promise you this. All righty. Now it's time to get into the keys to victory. The first key to victory for me, it's something very, very important. It was on last week's keys to victory. It is going to be on this week's keys to victory. And it's going to be on every keys to victory until they frickin' fix it. You got to stop the damn run. The New Orleans Saints are piss poor when it comes to stopping the run. In the first 2 weeks, they were really good. Like, they were phenomenal. And when it comes to the defensive rankings and how they shake out compared to the league, the high praise, I guess you could say, or like the quality numbers for New Orleans, that's because those first 2 weeks were electric. Look at the last 3 weeks. Almost 7 yards per carry against the Eagles, 6 yards per carry against the Falcons. Only 3.6 yards per carry against the Chiefs, but Kareem Hunt scored a touchdown. Xavier Worthy scored a touchdown. We are not good against the run. That is just a fact. It's unfortunate. It's something I thought would finally get fixed, but they are not. They haven't fixed it. And when it comes to the Buccaneers' top rushers, they do have two good running backs, in my opinion. But Baker Mayfield, ironically enough, he's also one of the top rushers for Tampa Bay. Bucky Irving, a rookie out of Oregon, he's been really, really good so far. He runs hard. When I watched the game for Tampa Bay versus Atlanta, Bucky Irving is the boom. He brings the boom every single time he carries the football. He is talented. He runs with a lot of grit, and he makes me nervous because the Saints have tackling issues, and they are also bad when it comes to defending those kind of players. Rashad White, a little bit less production, but that being said, you also got to pay attention to Baker because, like I said, he can burn you with his legs. He can take advantage of a broken play, and he can make you pay, and that's something that the Saints cannot afford to do. Bucky Irving averaging over 5.5 yards per carry. Rashad White almost 4 yards per carry. And Baker Mayfield averaging just about 6 every time he carries the football. Now, really quick, I got more keys to victory. I got more things I want to discuss, but I got to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, and it is my favorite ticketing app, Game Time. Game Time is the best ticketing app because it's so user-friendly, and they have the best seats, lowest price, guaranteed. And the price is actually, fun fact, this is going to sound crazy, they actually drop as the event gets closer. I know. That's wild. In this economy, for sure. But we can hook you guys up with $20 off your first purchase when you use our code CHATSPORTS. And you can use those savings to get yourself some concessions, maybe get yourself some gear, some merchandise at an LSU game, maybe a concert in New Orleans. Maybe you're traveling sometime soon and you want to get yourself a fun night out. Or, hey, the holidays are also right around the corner. Great way to get somebody a gift is by getting a ticket to create a memory, and Game Time can help you out. Game Time has a brand new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but once again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. What time is it? Game time. All righty. So, yeah, we got to give the ball to Chris Olave. You remember when the Saints traded up to go and get him in the first round? That was cool. I liked it. I like him a lot. He's a good player. So we changed this key to victory from give him more opportunities to just, excuse my French, fucking give him some opportunities. Good God. I put this picture up last week. We're going to do it again. I got a fever. The only cure is some water and Chris Olave. I mean, the fact that number 12 against the best team in the league, you could say, and against the defending two-time Super Bowl champions, it's prime time. It's in their stadium. What in the hell are we doing only targeting Chris Olave one time up until that halfway point in the third quarter? What a joke. Stop forcing the ball to Rashid Shaheed. He's a fine player. Stop forcing it to him. If you got to force the ball somewhere, throw it to your tight end. Throw it to your wide receiver one. He's really good. When he gets the opportunity, he makes freaking plays. So give him opportunity. Again, this isn't give him some. This is just give him an opportunity. Give him something. Let him try to make a freaking play. Because when you disregard and ignore number 12 and you just pretend like he isn't on your roster, one, that's how you get him to request a trade. And two, that's how you lose ball games. I got fired up. I want to see Chris Olave get the ball more. I also want to see the Saints defense actually turn pressures into sacks. John Gruden in his football school, he did a video. I hate pressures. Put them on the ground. You know, that kind of thing. I mean, if you sack Baker Mayfield, that'll get me feeling nicey. Oh, I mean, let's talk about it. Baker Mayfield, he's actually pretty good when you bring pressure to him. So that's my point is he's going to be good under pressure. He will make you pay. But you have to turn those sacks or pressures into production. You have to turn pressures into sacks. You have to wrap up the quarterback and bring him to the ground. You can't hit him. You can't try and push him. You got to wrap him up and make the frickin' play. And to be honest, if any of these guys could just step up a little bit more other than the names Brian Brzee and Alontae Taylor, if literally either of these three guys, Carl Granderson, Chase Young, Peyton Turner, I mean, I'll also throw in Cameron Jordan, for God's sake. If any of these guys can make some plays, then the Saints defense will be better. You just can't rely on a defensive tackle and a cornerback being your top two in sack production. That's not going to work. That's not going to get the job done, in my opinion. And when it comes to getting these players more production, I don't know if it's a scheme change. I don't know if it's the players are just not playing well. I don't know. But they have to find a way to be more successful, especially considering you're going up against a divisional opponent. And if you start off, 1-2 in the division, pretty unfortunate start to the season. That's not what you want to see. So, for the love of God, please get some sacks. That's all I'm asking. Just wrap them up and take them to the ground. Now, last key to victory. So, fun fact, when I was scripting this video, this information was not put out there. But when it comes to starting Spencer Rattler, I mentioned it earlier, Derek Carr, he's dealing with an oblique injury. He is considered week to week. So Spencer Rattler, I said it was a key to victory. Boom. They already took advantage, and they already turned that key. Spencer Rattler is your starting quarterback. So why is he the starting quarterback? Like I mentioned, the oblique injury to Derek Carr, it's a week-to-week issue. The season is still early, so they got to find a way to stay competitive. And I'm just going to kind of go through some notes that I've seen on social media in regards to Spencer Rattler and whatnot. So Derek Carr will be the starting quarterback when he's healthy once again. That is something to note. That is what Dennis Allen said during his press conference today. But also with Spencer Rattler, he's a player who's been impressive with the scout team. He was really good in the preseason. And on top of that, he is a player that I think the Saints front office and the Saints team trusts to run the offense. Like, nothing against Jake Haener. He just wasn't really inspiring. Like, when he came into the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, I gave him credit yesterday. I'm not going to spend 2 minutes trying to give him a bunch of, here's all the factors. Factors were you play in a really bad situation, down by 10 against the Chiefs in Arrowhead on Monday Night Football. Terrible hand dealt with a beat up, injured team. That bad hand dealt, no doubt. But he was uninspiring. He looked like a deer in the headlights. He looked lost. Spencer Rattler, when he has been on the field, has not looked like that. He has looked confident. He's looked poised. He's commanded the offense. He's taken control. And that's what I like the most about Spencer Rattler. And there's a lot of things why I think he can be great. But the biggest thing for me is the fact that he has been able to just sit and learn and develop. He hasn't had to be doing all this prep of being the QB2. He's been able to just sit, study. He's been the scout team guy. He's been the emergency third quarterback. He is a player who I think can truly win football games for this franchise. He is accurate with the ball at all levels. He has incredible arm talent. He is very aware when it comes to navigating and moving around the pocket. And he is one tough SOB. So when it comes to Spencer Rattler, I trust him with the out-of-structure playmaking. I trust him to chuck the deep ball down there. I trust him to hit Rashid Shaheed on those deep seams. I trust Spencer Rattler to run this offense and manage it more than I do Jake Haener. Doesn't mean I hate Jake Haener. It just means I think Spencer Rattler gives my team the best opportunity to win. That's what I care about most of the end of the day. It's not who's throwing the ball. It's not who's calling the plays. It's who and how many, or it's not who. It's how many wins is my team getting. Are we winning football games? If you're winning, I promise you one thing, nobody is nearly as upset with who's running the show. I'm just going to say that. All righty, so call the shots for me. I gave you a handful of keys to victory. It's your turn to give me one. What's your keys to victory? What do you think the Saints got to do? Win in the trenches, force some turnovers, pass the ball around a little bit more, get the tight ends involved. What is it? I want to hear what you guys think. What is your key to victory starting Jake Haener? If it is, get in the comments and explain why. I'm truly curious as to what you guys think here. So final thoughts just before we hop on out of here. The New Orleans Saints, they have no choice, but they have to get back on track. In my opinion, the home game against a divisional opponent is a must-win every single week, or every single year, I should say. When you go to their stadium, it's a little harder to win. It's a rivalry game. There's bad blood. There's hostility. But you got to give the Saints the Saints fans something to cheer for. Going out and having a terrible game like we did against the Chiefs, a terrible game like we did against the Falcons, a terrible game like the Eagles, it's just not going to do it. We got to give the fan base something to cheer for. You got to give the fan base something to be passionate about. And quite honestly, it's still too early in the season to just be like, we gave up, we're done. No. You can still win the division. You can still win a lot of football games. So go do it. No excuses. It's time to make it happen. The injuries are not good. Unfortunate timing, 100 definitely. There's no doubt. But good teams find a way to win. So go prove that you're a good team.